No, Howard Stern, but he's talking about John Prine. So
I love John Prine.
I'm obsessed.
I fucking love John.
I'm obsessed.
Prine.
So you want to hear a crazy ass story?
Of course.
I
love John.
The magic of Manhattan, man. It's a very, very magical city. I've met very many famous, bizarre people randomly, but we were there our last day there. We have coffees. We're like, oh, we don't have to be on the plane for a few hours. Rolling around town, walk out of our hotel, get coffee, walk down the street. I feel like I am hit by lightning in my head. I can't explain of like a literal like this in my head. I just stop in my tracks. And during the pandemic, they'd put all those cafes out on the street. And I look and like me to Yari is Fiona Prine, if you know who his wife is sitting there. And I like this. And Nick is like, what happened? Are you all right? Or like, you having a stroke or something? And I just like scuttle over to her. I was like, excuse me, like, this is really weird, but are you Mrs. Prine? And she's like, I am. And I proceed to lose my shit because I've been a decade-long fan.
What's your favorite Pride song? We
were picking one.
Christmas in Prison is one of my favorites.
Christmas in Prison.
Ding, ding,
Paradise.
Ding, ding.
I always tell people if you're going to listen. I have a funny
story about that.
If you're going to listen to his albums, I always tell people start at the bookend. Start at his debut album and his last album. That's the way to go. Yeah. That's the way to start it.
I like Buffalo Soldier.
Buffalo Soldier. And I absolutely adore When I Get to Heaven, that one.
Yeah.
Christmas in Prison's great. Yeah, pistols made out of wood. But the weirdest thing talking to her, so she ends up, she's like, oh, you just missed my son. The son runs Oh Boy Records because he started that record company, okay? Mm-hmm. His son has just been there. They were there meeting documentary filmmakers to do a documentary on his life. So she doesn't live there. There's 1.7 million people on Manhattan at any given time. And just to see her, that it's like, we don't live there. She doesn't live there. I think if her son was sitting with her, I wouldn't have gone and spoken to her. So I'm just like, it's too weird to have this shit happen that like, I just happened to see her. And I'm like, how many famous musicians' wives would you recognize ever?
Oh, yeah. Like, I wouldn't recognize
Sharon
Yoko.
Osbourne. But you wouldn't even recognize Yoko now.
Yeah, dude, she just looks like an Asian bitch.
Yoko's old now. You wouldn't even recognize Yoko now. Because I was thinking about that.
She's the blind Chinese.
I was thinking about that when we were in New York. Because if you're in where he was shot is literally like outside of their apartment building that they lived at. And she still lives there. It's called the Dakota.
Yeah.
And she still lives there in Manhattan. She's right there. So I'm like, you could
we should get Yoko on the pod.
Yeah,
Yoko, automatic enemy of the pod. I'm gonna say it.
I'm such a big fan of John.
How did you end up getting tuned into John?
I will tell the whole John Prine lore after the episode.
Let me know, because just one of those weird magical things of being in Manhattan. You never know who you're gonna see, because that happened to me. She talked to me for 20 minutes.
That's great.
Doll. She is gorgeous. She's so sweet. Amazing humanitarian. They raise tons of money for their foundation.
Yeah, John Prine was a good ass dude.
They're
also,
incredible.
So was his wife.
But he had just passed away. So it's going to be this coming week. He had passed away from COVID right at the start of COVID in 2020. So it's going to be 5-year anniversary of his death. The Ghost Light on Wednesday the 9th. When will this drop? It won't drop then.
This is coming out on Monday.
Wednesday the 9th.
Before then.
Oh, nice. Okay, so Wednesday the 9th at Ghost Light, Emily Rose, who is someone who holds a monthly dead musician show at Ghost Light, is going to be doing John Prine. So you should go to that. So I'm going to try and check that out. I think that'll be really cool. Allison Lewis, shout out Allison Lewis, the best bartender in town, and Jeff is the other best bartender. But Allison is going to be
Jeff Foxworthy.
Jeff
Dunham.
Jeffrey St. John is the other bartender that's always at Ghost Light. But Jeffrey's awesome at guitar and singing too. But Allison is amazing, and she's going to be on this show. So she's a huge John Prine fan too.
Check out her album. She's actually she's amazing. Really fucking good.
Beautiful voice and an amazing sweetheart. Looks out for everybody at Ghost Light kind of person. So,
are you going to be on that show, Kate?
Check out the aromas.
No, I don't. I can't sing or play instruments whatsoever. I have stupid fingers, and you've heard my speaking voice. My singing voice is kind of tough. Much worse.
I've heard
my favorite John Prine songs. My favorite John Prine songs are the way that the world goes round.
Yeah,
that's good.
Are you a happy enchilada? Have you ever heard that one?
In Spite of Ourselves is, I think, the best love song of all time.
That's literally the song that got me into John Prine, and that is the most realistic, heartfelt, silly, sweet, romantic love song ever.
What a genius of writing.
That was my intro to John Prine. And shout out Iris DeMent. That's the other singer. That's the person who's doing the duet.
Sweet Revenge is a fucking cool song from John Prine.
Yeah. I texted him. He's good. He is running late. He won't be here till like 7:30. And I said, perfect, because we're skadoodling or whatever we're doing.
Sure.
We have to have a conversation after that. But yeah, anyone who doesn't know him, please check him out. Amazing musician. He his first debut album, he's 24 years old, fresh out of Vietnam. Drops that album, and
he was a mail carrier.
He was the singing mailman. He's like a Chicago native, the singing mailman.
I think he's better than Bob Dylan.
I'm gonna do my fathoms above. Even Bob Dylan says he's the best singer-songwriter that existed. Yeah, and that's Bob Dylan saying that. And Bob Dylan's an amazing songwriter.
Oh, yeah.
I can't. Unpopular opinion, I cannot deal with Bob Dylan's voice. I saw Bob Dylan this summer open for Willie Nelson. Willie Nelson's 91, and his voice is better than Bob Dylan's at 60.
I think the charm, for me, I think the charm for Bob Dylan comes from the fact that he is not a good singer.
Oh, he has some songs that his voice is better, like my favorite
Man
song,
and Me,
probably, and it's my favorite Dylan and my favorite Johnny Cash song, "Girl from North Country."
Oh,
but that's
like
song. he can be decent, but there's some songs like he sounds goofy as fuck, like "Lay Lady Lay," goofy ass voice, dude. Yeah. I don't know.
Lay across my big breast.
Yeah, silly. It's a sweet song, beautiful song, but it's his voice is not.
But again, I think the charm for me comes just from the example of "In Spite of Ourselves." The charm of that song
is the
comes from how like earnest and real it is. Bob Dylan is not a trained singer-songwriter, and I think that's why I like him so much. Is because it's like, this sounds like fucking nails on the chalkboard sometimes.
That's like people covering Dylan songs and how many songs Dylan's written for other people that are absolutely incredible. So it's just being that person that can channel something for someone else like that, where it's like, like Johnny Cash again, like 9 Inch Nails, Trent Reznor's like "Hurt" is Johnny Cash's song.
Yeah.
Dylan, like "All Along the Watchtower," that's Hendrix's song. Like that, he made it his song. So that's the kind of thing that I always
Brian Frederick is Jewish.
He's checking out all the Jews. Joseph's tuned out.
He's converting to Judaism?
I have my music podcast. The next episode that we're doing, it's going to be John Prine. So that's the next episode of 3 Shots Down. I want to cover him because we haven't covered him.
Who are you having on that episode?
Well, it's me and my 2 record buddies. So my 2 record buddies are older dudes. They're both in their 50s that I met when I was selling records. I was doing record sales during the pandemic. And I met these dudes, and they do a bunch of different podcasts. But this was an idea that was like a brainchild of my buddy Jerry, and this one specifically
Jerry
Garcia. This one specifically just the 3 of us always, because it gets too
George.
We're really deep dive research, like because it's a history podcast.
Stop saying the N-word.
There's been a couple shows that I go on. I talk too much, like today, and I do too much info, and I've been cut and episodes have been lost because I talk too much and I'm not just a dumb broad. I actually know some shit. Especially
dude, we need more women who know stuff.
Dude,
the #1 Measure Comedy Podcast. No big deal.